All right, JW, I'm going to tee you up. JW Womack, Dr. Jason Womack, Chief of Learning Programs Branch for the United States Space Force. As he stated earlier, he's just getting his legs under him in that new position. We're so thankful to have him here. Immediately prior to taking his post, just this month during May, he was the assistant professor at Air University, where I got to know about him and watch him. He earned his doctorate in organizational leadership from the University of Southern California, and his research is dedicated to both the theory and the implementation. So I'm a big fan of his. I'm all about theory and practice, that intersection. Being reflective. So I'm confident you'll hear that in his comments, so that we become more aware of our impact in the organizations in which we lead. Finally, JW is certified as a coach, both in BCC and ACC, if I remember correctly. And he's also an author on top of all that, top of writing his doctoral dissertation, co-author of Get Momentum, How to Start When You're Stuck. And he's the author of Your Best Just Got Better. Think bigger, work smarter, and make more. So with that, let's jump over to JW. I know I have had your escape here, stop share. JW will pin you and let you jump in here. Find your QR
Can we
codes.
leave it? Can we leave it like this for a bit, Jay?
Oh, you want to leave it in gallery?
That way I can see everybody. Like everyone's in the front row. So hey, just do a quick wave just so I can see you. Oh my gosh. First off, congratulations to every single one of you. You know, this process of unfolding. Some of you have been coaching and didn't know it. Some of you were mentoring and didn't know coaching was an option. All of you have taken a journey over the past 4 months. A coach serves a client. I know this. You serve a client by listening, by asking questions, maybe most importantly, facilitating self-discovery. I'm guessing that over this past 16 weeks, you have been tested by practicing coaching on a challenging client. Just smile if you have worked with a challenging client. You know, the challenges we face with a client, like maybe they were resistant to change. Maybe there was a lack of motivation. Perhaps during the coaching process that you went through, there was an unrealistic expectation of what would happen. Folks, I too have worked with that client. Since I entered the coaching world in 2001, I have faced a challenging client for more than 24 years. I met with this person who needed coaching more than anything else. And yet when I faced this client, there was resistance. This person who needed to be listened to, who needed new questions and needed to have change facilitated. And if you haven't guessed it by now, I'm talking about myself. Folks, I wasn't the smartest in the class. I wasn't the one that almost washed out. I was kind of in the middle. I was kind of skating through. And it was not until I understood, learned about, was introduced to this concept called coaching. Maybe most importantly, the tool that I walked away with was, how do I coach the leader in the mirror? Can I get all of you please to lean toward the keyboard and activate the chat icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen? In the past 4 months, has a member of a family, has a member of a unit, has a friend of yours approached you to talk about a challenge that they are facing? Just give me a Y or an N. Have you sat down with someone who's facing a challenge? For those of you who just typed a Y, can you please type in a word, and this is anonymous. We're not going to put names of people, but in a word or two, what was the challenge they brought to you that you had the gift of time with them to discuss? And as soon as you click that word or words, please scroll through what your colleagues have added. I'm going to take 30 seconds for you to watch what this cohort has had the opportunity to talk about.
Hey, JWIO, your QR code's ready whenever you need them.
You're an angel. Thank you, sir. Will you give me a thumbs up or a noggin nod if you found someone else wrote something that's kind of similar to what you wrote in the chat? Does anybody see something similar? Great. Now, here's the third question. How many of you on screen, when that person brought you something, you had an experience from your past that you could have told them about how you went through that challenge? Give me a Y or an N. Can I get everyone, please, to put your arms out in front of you, shake them out a little bit, maybe another active mindfulness exercise. Now, like you're waiting for someone who's late, cross your arms over your chest. They're late, you're waiting, you can't believe it. Or maybe you can. Let's do it again, do it again. Shake, 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 shake. Like you're waiting, they're late, cross your arms over your chest. Everybody, please look down. There is one arm on top. You tracking? Third time. Arms out in front, shake, shake, shake. Please cross your arms with the other arm on top. Okay, just smile if that was kind of weird. And that's how coaching is for many of us. You see, I didn't have to tell you to put your right or left, whatever arm you start with, on top. I just asked. And then I said, can you do this new thing? This thing that's not natural, this thing that's not normal, this thing that you would not normally start with. Active listening, asking a powerful question, and facilitating self-discovery. When I consider the concept of building what we want to call a coaching culture, I have to put a gap between thought and response. I have to put a moment in between when something showed up and when I will have had been a part of a solution. See, the blessing that we'll all experience is that at some point, someone's going to walk into our space, knock on the door, knock on the cube, call or text and say, do you have a minute? Folks on the screen in front of me, what's the answer? Just mouth it out loud. What's the answer? If I ask you for a minute, what's the answer? And now all of a sudden we have an opportunity. And JR, I know you looked at the spectrum of engagement. Now I have an opportunity, depending on what I've been trained for, depending on what my position is, depending on what my positionality is, depending on what my intersectionality is. I have an opportunity. And if I'm going to move towards that part of the spectrum where coaching is a part of that process, because what is that blessing? What is that gift? What is that opportunity? Perhaps an airman, a soldier, a sailor, a marine, a guardian, a civilian, a contractor. How about a fellow human being who shares with us a challenge that they're facing? They really need us to listen. They need us to ask a question. They're giving us the chance to facilitate self-discovery. I'm going to ask for some help on this. Can I get a few of you to type in chat as I rattle off? There's 4 questions, JR, that I wanted to make sure that people leave today within their toolkit. And if I'm working on myself, I'm going to turn this now to how do I create a coaching culture for the leader in the mirror? How do you look at you? And when you walk by a reflective surface, you have these assets in your toolkit, and they're questions. And there's 4 questions that I continue to come back to as a philosophy of leadership. There's 4 questions that I hope after these 16 weeks that you got a chance to clarify. And for those of you who are visiting as guests of this graduation, please wonder how the people you're here to support can deepen their answers to these 4 questions. The first question, Who am I? Who am I? And I can go take another personality assessment. I can go respond to another 5-year journal prompt. I can sit down with someone who I love and trust, who truly is going to listen to the questions that they ask me to answer. I will do anything I can to get the current version of the answer, who am I? JR, I love the fact that you've reminded us, I stopped counting at 6, that this is the 24th year of the 24th century, because who I am is different and should be. The next question, after 16 weeks in this leadership development program, after the tour that you're on right now with the unit that you're gifting your attention, your heart, and your mind to, when you move to that next thing, as you age up in the bracket, as you take these 16 weeks and that graduation certificate, my second question, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do with this newfound discovered use, talent, this gift, this opportunity of having someone bring me something that they're challenged by, something that they're moving toward, and me not mentor, me not storytell, me not tell them what they just should do. Just and should. In the work that I'm in, I fine you $1 every time I hear one of those two words come out. Most of us are going to use this coaching stuff with adults. And folks, if I'm sat down with a 37-year-old who brings me something that he or they are working on, and I just on them, I should on them. Hey, who are my parents up on the screen? Give me a big smile. Who are my parents? Watch your justs and your shoulds and turn those into my third question. After I have a good sense of who I am and the framework upon which I rest my coaching philosophy, my natural starting point and my taught starting point, after I have a glimpse of what I want to do with that position I have to help people as a coach, my third question, how will I use my influence? How will I use the opportunity that I've been gifted? I say this all the time. How dare you attend a program like this 16 weeks and not have the lessons learned ready to publish on your LinkedIn as an article sometime this weekend? How dare you wait to talk about this in real time when you could create an email that you send out to your friends recapping what you've learned over the past 16 weeks? How will I use my influence? Every single one of us is in a position where if we Facebook something, LinkedIn something, email something, or text someone, they'll open it. Wouldn't it be neat in the next 16 hours, you took something that you gleaned from today's graduation and shared that with a few more people? How will I use my influence? And my fourth question, and before I do this, I need the last addition to your chat. In the next 6 months between now and the upcoming holidays, give me a Y or an N. Does anyone in this room think that they are going to face a personal challenge? They are going to face a personal development opportunity. They are going to be caught at a crossroads where there are two roads you could choose from. And that leads me to my fourth question. How will I maintain my effort? What I know about this life thing is, friends, it's a team sport. Can I get everyone, please, to click the view icon in the top right of your Zoom? Go down and choose gallery view. If you're on an iPhone, I need you to swipe your screen a few times so you can see. And I want all of you to look at a few people in your eyes. I call this the awkward moment when the elevator doors closed and I'm still looking at you, wondering, who are you? What do you want to do? How will you use your influence? And how, as a team, can we maintain the effort? I will not get out of anything, JR, without grabbing an artifact. So friends, you're about to see a QR code, or in the chat, you're about to see a link. I'm going to invite all of you to activate that link or to activate that QR code. In a single word, what is your coaching mindset? And in two sentences or so, why would you continue this coaching journey? For guests of today's program, so far from what you've heard from JR and what you've experienced in these 10 minutes, what is your coaching mindset in a word? And what do you hope the person that you're supporting today continues as their coaching journey? JR, I commit to sharing these artifacts with you at the conclusion of today's program. Thank you for the invitation to come to this presentation today. For every single one of you, I'm in awe of you. I respect you. I love you for what you're going to do for our services, but most importantly, for what you're doing for our nation. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Joya. As a true professional you are, you're exactly 15 minutes. So the upper right QR code is the quote. Hey, Emily, are you the host? I'm